This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Thursday, the 14th day of December in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Tonight, here's what you need to know. President Irfan Ali said he has made it clear to the Venezuelan president during their meeting here in St. Vincent that there is no retreating on Guyana's clear position that the Essequibo region belongs to Guyana, and Guyana will not be budging from its case before the International Court of Justice.
I made it clear that the controversy must be resolved at the ICJ. And we are unwavering and resolute in ensuring that Guyana's case is presented, defended, and that the ICJ will issue its decision on the merits of the case, which of course is binding on all the parties. I made it clear that the process leading to the ICJ is part of the Geneva Agreement, and that the Geneva Agreement provides for the UN Secretary General to determine where the controversy must be finally determined. And it is a UNSG acting within the confines of the Geneva Agreement who determined that that place is the ICJ.
At a press conference at the Argyle International Airport here in St. Vincent, where the talks were held, the president said both countries want peace, but Guyana is a law-abiding country. According to President Ali, during the meeting, he also made it clear that Guyana will continue to exploit the resources within its territorial space.
I made it very clear that within the sovereign space of Guyana, we will continue to do everything that promotes the development, the advancement of our people, and all the partnerships necessary to ensure the defense and protection of what is ours, in accordance with international law.
President Ali also said CARICOM has remained firm in its position that it is supportive of Guyana and the case before the International Court of Justice. The president noted that the two sides have agreed to remain committed to ensuring that the region remains a region of peace.
So as we move forward in the next phase of the meeting, and in keeping with the invitation, which sought to enable a process of dialogue on consequential issues, not on the issue before ICJ, on consequential issues, that dialogue, the shape and the form of that dialogue, in an understanding of how we move forward, is the next phase of these meetings. Both parties committed to ensuring the region remains a zone of peace.
Guyana has been canvassing support from a number of its international partners on the border controversy. The president said Guyana will lean on those partners for support in the defense of its territory.
I want to say that we agreed with all the regional partners that the priority is peace,
regionales de que la prioridad es la
and
paz
that every threat
y de que cada amenaza
of force or the use of force
de fuerza o el
must be
uso de
denounced,
fuerza debe ser denunciado
and that every party
y que cada parte
must take responsibility.
debe asumir la responsabilidad.
We made it very clear
Eso lo aclaramos muy bien.
that Guyana is not the aggressor.
Que Guyana no es el agresor.
Guyana is not seeking war,
Guyana no busca la guerra,
but Guyana reserved the right to
pero,
work with all our partners to ensure the defense of our country.
pero Guyana tiene
And holding up a leather bracelet with a map of Guyana engraved on it, the president of Guyana said it is very clear what Guyana looks like, what the map looks like, and it will remain that way.
What do you think that means?
This tells you. I don't have to think what it means.
Esta es su respuesta.
We
No
know-
hay que pensar lo que significa
We
saber
know what this means.
lo que esto significa.
This is Guyana.
Este es Guyana.
All of it belongs to all of Guyana.
Todo esto pertenece a
This is the
Guyana.
map of Guyana.
Este es el mapa de Guyana.
No narrative,
No hay
propaganda,
narrativa, propaganda,
decree can change this.
decreto que pueda cambiar esto.
This is Guyana.
President Ali is heading back to Guyana tonight. More news coming up in just a moment.
'Twas the start of GTT Christmas and all through the land. Not a smartphone was silent, all buzzing in hand. The stockings were hung by the modem with care in hopes that GTT prizes would soon be here. They say top up a grand or activate a data plan and just find the letters to GTT Xmas in the land. Plus, pay your bills on time, don't be a Grinch, and you could be a winner of the GTT Mega Million.
Oh my lord! I just love to shop in this store. My customers them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup!
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
It's your time to win big. The Massey Store's Christmas jackpot promotion is back and bigger than before. Spend $5,000 at any Massey stores to be the lucky winner of a brand new MGZS and fantastic weekly store prizes from now until January 31st, 2024. What are you waiting for? Head to your nearest Massey stores to shop now. See our Facebook and Instagram pages for more details. Massey Stores, our family serving your family.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Let's tell you now that leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, today said though the opposition was invited, it opted not to participate in the high-level meeting in St. Vincent between President Irfan Ali and his Venezuelan counterpart Nicolas Maduro over the lack of consultation and a clear agenda. The Caribbean Community CARICOM and the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States CELAC called the meeting with the aim of easing the tension between the two South American nations. Though offering his support for dialogue between the two sides aimed at easing tension, Norton said the agenda for today's meeting should have been clearly defined.
If the opposition had
access to all the information, if the opposition was involved in a proper consultative process, if the opposition was aware what is the agenda of the meeting, then I might have considered it. But as leader of the opposition, I wouldn't want to involve the opposition in the meeting for the sake of saying there is involvement. One has to know what are the objectives of the meeting, what is the agenda of the meeting.
Mr. Norton questioned what would have been the role of the opposition in the meeting between the two presidents when the Guyanese government would have already assured the nation that there would be no dialogue on the border controversy.
It was a case where there was a clear role for the leader of the opposition. Then there should have been consideration. We have been sending a technical person to the meetings in The Hague, but we opted not to send somebody on this occasion because our understanding is that the Guyana and Venezuela territorial controversy will not be discussed, and to the extent it is not going to be discussed, we saw no need to send our technical person.
Mr. Norton said while it is always important for dialogue to take place, there is also the need for caution.
I would not say I am optimistic. And I wouldn't even say cautiously optimistic. For me, if there is movement in the direction of peace, peaceful coexistence, the non-use of force, and we manage to de-escalate tension, then I would welcome it. However, from my own experience, unless a summit is well prepared, there are prior agreements on what will be the final outcome, it is not likely that you will have.
The opposition leaders said the APNU AFC opposition will remain supportive of the border case before the International Court of Justice, where it rightfully belongs.
I supported dialogue, but indicated the dialogue should be aimed at bringing peace, it should be aimed at peaceful coexistence, it should aim to reduce the tensions, de-escalate the tensions. And so that is the context in which I've supported a summit.
President Irfan Ali and President Maduro touched down at the Argyle International Airport this morning. Vice President Bar Jagdeo has justified the 6.5% salary increase that the government recently announced for public servants, saying the government has a duty to be responsible and act in the interests of all Guyanese. During a press conference today, the Vice President said a salary increase that is not grounded in an analysis of the economy, the state of the country's finances, and its revenue stream will not be sustainable. He said the government has to pay 54,000 public servants at an annual cost of $89 billion.
But when you run a country, you have to take care of your public servants. They're your people who help you to administer the country. But you have a duty to all the people of the country too, who are not public servants, who work, who contribute to national wealth, who pay taxes. They also have to benefit from the treasury. And how do you get them to benefit? So you have to think about that too. You can't get them to benefit by paying higher wages because they're not working with you. So you also have to make sure that in a way, they pay less taxes.
The Vice President told reporters that it is no doubt that public servants are the backbone of the government. He said the government has ensured that working conditions have improved and salaries have been increased, so much so that some categories of private sector workers are now opting to work for the government.
I see somebody said, how 6.5% now? But you had to pay this year, from this year resources, for the last 3 or 4 years, it becomes annualized. It's recurrent. When you increase salaries, it's recurrent. You have to pay for this year, last year, the year before increase, etc.
Additionally, Mr. Jacques said public servants are also beneficiaries of a number of other initiatives from the government, such as the removal of VAT on water, electricity, data, and some food items, which directly impacted Guyanese, including public servants.
It's not only wages and salaries you can spend on. You have to spend on roads, electricity. We subsidize electricity now. We've absorbed all of the cost because of higher oil prices and carry it on the treasury. That's a benefit to everyone. We restore pension, the subsidy to the pensioners. Where do you think you fund this from? People don't look at all of those. They think, oh, 6.5% alone.
The vice president said although the country is now benefiting from oil resources, those monies cannot be spent only on salaries for public servants. He noted that the government has increased disposable income to households by increasing the Because We Care cash grant, among other initiatives. The Guyana Public Service Union has criticized the increase as unilateral and has also indicated that it clearly has not taken the current cost of living and inflation into consideration. With the recent increase in blackouts, which has been blamed on the Guyana Power and Light Company's generation capacity, the power company is expected to see some improvement now that the recently purchased generating sets have arrived in the country and the installation process is set to get underway soon. The new sets will produce 28.9 megawatts of power and are expected to be installed in time for Christmas. In a social media post, GPL said the generators will boost the generation capacity in the Demerara-Berbice interconnected system. The decision to acquire additional megawatts came from findings from an assessment by the company, which said the generation reserves will be violated from 2023 and onwards, becoming negative from 2024. A negative system reserve indicates that demand is greater than generation, which leads to generation shortfall. The government has long said that the high level of investments and the number of investors coming into the country and being connected to the grid may also be causing some of the power problems. The assessment, which was done by GPL earlier this year, acknowledged the growth in the new services and the continued expansion of the housing sector. In March this year, Prime Minister Mark Phillips announced that in preparation of the 300 megawatt Wales gas to shore power plant's late 2024 completion, the government will be moving ahead with plans to upgrade the GPL's distribution grid.
Linden, get ready. The grand finals is coming to your town. Come, let's celebrate with the world's #1 stout Guinness. It's the Guinness Sounds of Greatness final on Saturday, December 16th at the Mackenzie Bus Park, Linden. 16 DJs, one crown. Who will walk away with a title for $1.6 million in cash and prizes up for grabs. Hosted by DJ Frost, guest DJs, DJ Brutal, DJ Al Rule, DJ Puffy, and Dynamic Sound. Club starts at 6 p.m. and competition starts at 7 p.m. Saturday, December 16th, Guinness Sounds of Greatness finals, Linden at the Mackenzie Bus Park, celebrating Guinness through music.
Must be 18 plus to drink Guinness. Please enjoy Guinness responsibly.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo. From its pristine rivers to its abundant resources, it's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect, and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
Finals is coming to your town. Come, let's celebrate with the world's #1 stout Guinness. It's the Guinness Sounds of Greatness Final on Saturday, December 16th at the Mackenzie Bus Park, Linden. 16 DJs, one crown. Who will walk away with a title for $1.6 million in cash and prizes up for grabs. Hosted by DJ Frost, guest DJs, DJ Brutal, DJ Rule, DJ Puffy, and Dynamic Sound. Club starts at 6 p.m. and competition starts at 7 p.m. Saturday, December 16th, Guinness Sounds of Greatness Finals, Linden at the Mackenzie Bus Bar. Celebrating Guinness through music.
Must be 18 plus to drink Guinness. Please enjoy Guinness responsibly.
The Ghana Police Force has retained the licensed firearm belonging to journalist Travis Chase for testing as it continues its investigation into a recent shooting incident, which saw a lone gunman firing shots at a car moments after Chase left the same vehicle. In a statement last night, the police sought to link the gun used in the shooting to one owned and carried by Chase. Chase, however, has rejected that link. He said ballistic tests were done on his gun a few years ago when he was involved in a shooting incident.
They know what I know. And I know that it's coming from them. This shooting is coming from the police. And they know what I know. I'm not afraid to say it.
In its statement, the police said the spent shells recovered by investigators from the crime scene and tested by the force's crime laboratory are similar to the specimens provided by Chase when he registered his firearm. The police said as a consequence, investigators invited Chase to surrender his licensed firearm for further analysis to be conducted as the probe continues. Chase heeded to the police's request and reported to the Criminal Investigation Department headquarters, where he handed over his licensed firearm in the presence of his attorney Nigel Hughes last evening.
They wanted to conduct ballistics on the weapon, but they wanted to keep the weapon. I think the officer, Mr. Singh, if that's the officer, the senior officer that came in after, he said that we will give the weapon in, they will do the ballistics, and they will hand it back. Now, it's 9:30. They've kept the weapon. They've closed their gates, and I'm left unarmed.
Chase said he doesn't feel safe now that he's without his licensed firearm.
I feel very threatened. I don't feel safe at all.
In a statement on Facebook, his attorney Nigel Hughes said the theory that Chase conspired with someone else to shoot at him using his licensed firearm is untenable. He noted too that from the time of Chase's arrival at the ballistic department, he was being video recorded by a policeman despite objections from his attorney. Up to press time, Chase's licensed firearm was not returned to him by the police. A 32-year-old female prison officer was charged and remanded to jail on Wednesday for allegedly attempting to smuggle 289 grams of marijuana into the New Amsterdam prison. Prison officer Angelica Cameron was arrested last Saturday at the New Amsterdam prison after the marijuana was found in her possession. The illegal substance was found stashed in a water bottle. She was slapped with 2 counts of possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking. In court, the East Bank Berbice resident pleaded not guilty to the drug charges. The magistrate refused to grant her bail and ordered that she returns to court on December 27 for the continuation of the case. The Guyana Prison Service has stepped up the monitoring of its own prison officers to guard against contraband items being allowed into the prison system. The Ministry of Public Works was allocated $120.9 billion in the 2022 budget to advance major development projects throughout the country. But at the end of that year, some $13.4 billion remained unspent, the Audit Office of Guyana has found. In his report on the public accounts of Guyana for 2022, the Auditor General, Deodat Sharma, said the Public Works Ministry experienced varying shortfalls in the execution of a number of projects. According to the report, Only $99.9 million of the more than $2.5 billion allocated for the reconstruction of the Linden-Suslak Highway was used to advance the project. In explaining the reason behind the shortfall, the Public Works Ministry stated that delays in the loan negotiations with the Islamic Development Bank resulted in the contract not being signed by the end of the year. It said in the interim, the government funded $99.9 million in works, which included asphaltic paving and other emergency repairs along the highway. Similarly, the auditors found that approximately $2.2 billion was allocated for the construction of the highway from Diamond to Tamari, but only $100 million was utilized by the Public Works Ministry. In its defense, the Public Works Ministry said the loan for the project was only approved by the Inter-American Development Bank (IDB) in October 2022. It was explained that initially, the government was funding the entire project, which included extensive repairs to the East Bank Demerara Public Road from Grove to Tamari. However, external funding was subsequently sought. It was not until March 2023 that a loan was signed, paving way for the initiation of the tendering process. In the case of the construction of the new 4-lane bridge across the Demerara River, the Public Works Ministry received $21.1 billion to advance the project. However, though the appropriation account stated that the full amount was expended in 2022, the Audit Office found that some $12.6 billion was not expended. The Audit Office disclosed further that only 7% of the total funds set aside for the Highway Improvement East Coast Demerara project was spent. It was explained that a total of $8.5 billion was budgeted for upgrades to be done to the railway embankment road from Sheriff Street to Enmore, the construction of the railway embankment road from Enmore to Orange Nassau, and the construction of a 4-lane highway from La Recognizance to Mahaika through a loan from the Export-Import Bank of China. However, only $566.3 million was expended, resulting in an unspent balance of $8 billion. Other shortfalls were recorded in the Linden-Mabura Road project and the Eccles to Mary Road project, amongst others.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guy Oil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guy Oil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guy Oil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor at the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall in the region. The head of Haiti's National Police visited Kenya Thursday as local authorities prepare for the deployment of Kenyan police to the Caribbean nation plagued by gang violence. Kenyan authorities said Thursday that France Elbe, on a fact-finding mission, met the Kenyan police chief. Elbe is on a 3-day official visit to Kenya for bilateral security discussions between the two law enforcement agencies. A statement from the Kenyan police chief's office said no more details were given. In October, the UN Security Council approved the deployment of a Kenyan-led foreign armed force to Haiti to help bring gang violence under control. More than 1,230 killings and 701 kidnappings were reported across Haiti from July 1 to September 30, more than double the figure reported during the same period last year, according to the UN. Elbe's visit comes days after a Kenyan team flew to Haiti to hold discussions with authorities there. Kenyan police would lead a UN-backed multinational force to Haiti, but the proposed deployment has proved controversial as it faces a legal hurdle at home. Dengue is sweeping across the Western Hemisphere in numbers not seen since record-keeping began more than 4 decades ago, with experts warning that rising temperatures and rapid urbanization are accelerating the pace of infections. A record more than 4 million cases have been reported throughout the Americas and Caribbean so far for this year, surpassing a previous record set in 2019, with officials from the Bahamas to Brazil warning of crowded clinics and new infections daily. More than 2,000 deaths in that region also have been reported. Poor sanitation and a lack of robust health systems have contributed to a rise in cases, but experts say droughts and floods linked to climate change are causing greater transmission of the virus, with stored water and heavy rains attracting mosquitoes. And finally tonight, international news. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said peace with Ukraine will only take place when Russia achieves its objectives. According to the BBC, President Putin at the time was fielding questions from journalists and ordinary Russians in his first marathon news conference since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine began in February 2022. Much of the largely choreographed event focused on what he calls the special military operation in Ukraine. He insisted the situation was improving throughout the front line. The direct line program, televised for more than 4 hours by most major channels, began with President Putin telling Russians the existence of Russia without sovereignty is impossible. It will simply not exist. He added that Russia's economy was strong for a time of war, and the topic of conversation quickly moved to Ukraine. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.